call him up. I'm at home. I grew up on that, and just it's a great thing. Whenever I hear, I'm stirred when I hear brothers get together and lift up the name of the Lord together. Some powerful things start happening in the atmosphere, and it starts inside of us to stir up stuff to take it out. So I'm at home. I just want to make sure. Thank you for stirring my spirit just in the few minutes that I've been. I thank you. I count this as an awesome time of fellowship. I do serve for the Salvation Army. My wife and I, we've been here in the Montgomery area now for about 10 months. So we're new to the Montgomery area. We've been a part of the Salvation Army all total for about 8 going on 9 years now. As officers with the Salvation Army I'm working my 3rd year. We were 2 years in Birmingham before we came here. Let me help break that down a little. An officer for the Salvation Army is basically an ordained pastor. That was our structure. We've adopted a structure sort of like a military based off of our name, Salvation Army. If you'll take it back, wind it back several years, back in 1865 is where the Salvation Army got started. Started back over in England, underneath the east side of London, England, where a guy by the name of Mr. Booth was a Methodist minister, started ministering on the streets, carried the mission into the Methodist church, and the Methodist church, as he brought people who didn't smell so good or weren't quite dressed right, brought them into service, and they were like, okay, they got to sit in the back. They can't be and he was like, wait a minute, but they just gave their life to Christ. They're brothers and sisters just like us. And they were like, can't stay here. He said, well, neither can I. I got to go back out there. And so he started having church on the street. And as people started coming to Christ and their lives started being turned around, the word started getting spread. They started going out and sharing other people what this Jesus Christ God had done for them. And so the word started getting out. They started coming together by the droves. And they were like, man, and he used to have the name of the New England Mission. But then as they started seeing them move throughout the street, and they was going down the street playing instruments, and man, it's like an army. And the name stuck. Salvation Army. That's how it got its name. So here in Montgomery, we've been here since 1899. Back in, I'll give you pass out a little literature about as far as the emergency disaster stuff, but I also want to pass out some flyers. That was going on right around there now. Just a little program as far as what we do at the Salvation Army. First of all, I tell everybody we're a church. We are a church, and I say that unapologetically. The reason I say it like that is because for so long, here in America, the Salvation Army has gotten the name as a social service organization. And what started out being in the backseat of our mission, because of the way that we started serving in community, somehow manifested itself up into the front seat and put our original mission in the back seat, which is the saving of souls. It's time to turn that back around to where what's driving this car is the saving of souls, meeting people where they are in their lives and giving them the hope of glory, Jesus Christ, so that then as they stabilize themselves, they can help them get their lives stabilized financially, but then now you have the spiritual principles in place and bought into to help them sustain their life. Many people are getting people jobs, and what I see a lot of times at the Salvation Army now, a lot of organizations help people get jobs, but they can't keep the job because their lifestyle is still a wreck. But as we teach the scriptures and they buy into the principles of Christ, now lifestyle sustained, foundation is laid. No other foundation can a person lay than Jesus Christ. All else is built on sand. Trouble will wash that away. House crumbles. So what's happening is what we have in our emergency shelter, which is here, is that revolving door. People get the job, get set for a minute, they leave our facility, give them a few months. They're right back in there again because their life's unsustained and unsettled on solid principles. We're trying to see how do we stop the revolving door. simple to us, you gotta know Christ. You gotta know Christ. So the services that we do are the whole heart is to drive people to the cross. To drive people to the cross. Sometimes in order for a person to see the cross, the initial situation they're in needs to be met. Therefore, homeless, we provide a shelter. Therefore, hungry, we provide a meal 365 days a week. And we do our lunch and dinner is a hot meal every day. Then we have breakfast for the ones who are staying in our shelter. Yeah. So those two needs are met. Now, while we're in the dialogue of you eating let's have some dialogue. Let's have some conversation, see what else is missing in your life, and how do we address those needs? Because this right here was just a bait. Now it's time for the hook so that you can be set up for life. So these are some of the things that we do. Again, this is you'll see many people just know it says a bell ringing around Christmas time. All those resources go to funding the services that we produce. And the stat is about 90% of what comes in goes right back out into the street through services that we provide. The one thing that we just give a quick synopsis. Meals served last year, we served 74,882 meals last year. We provided 187 nights of cold shelter. Total shelter nights, all total was 19,415 nights of shelter to people. So again, each one has an opportunity to plant a seed. We may not save everybody, but we can always plant a seed, and the Spirit will continue to do the work. And so, we can pass these out as well. This right, I'm going to give you all that stuff, so I ain't got to keep stopping. What I'm passing out, one is the brochure to tell you all the different services that we do. We do shelter, we provide housing. We right now exist in Montgomery as an emergency shelter. But our drive and what we're trying to do is take that and transition that to just providing meals and a place to stay, to provide the service that helps people sustain life. And a lot of that is through, we're opening up a computer lab to where people can be able to go online and look for jobs, helping them learn some different technology training, and then also be able to teach some life skills classes to keep from budgeting. In that life skills classes are some biblical principles so that you can help make better decisions to stay out of situations that you're in now. When everybody comes into our shelter, the first 14 days, we sit down with them and say, okay, where are you? And then let's talk to see where that is, and then let's put a plan to help get you out of this situation and back into a life of sufficiency where you can sustain over a long period of time. And as you buy into this plan, we will meet you in that plan. What's it, Doc? We'll meet you in that plan and then go forward. My motto is, I'm going to help you help yourself. If you don't help yourself, our job is done. Because what I'm not going to do is just keep throwing away valuable resources that people have entrusted us to, and you're sitting on your do nothing. You do nothing, we join you in the effort, but whenever you're ready to do something, come back and holler at us. But you can't do it in this shelter. Okay. And so that's what that 14 days, our first 14 days in the shelter is totally free. We feed you, we clothe you, let you bathe and all that stuff. It's free. Let's put your plan together. Now, if you don't want to put a plan together after your 14 days, holler at to come see us in 4 months. There is no longer a 30-day cycle where you can come back and it's time to break the cycle. Yeah. I want you to feel some of the consequences of your decisions so to let you know that there is hope, but you got to buy into you. And so it's a 4-month cycle. After 4 months, after you bumped your head a few times, now maybe you got a perspective. Now let's buy into our life and let's take off and run. Okay. That's what that is. So I want to give everybody just a quick overview of what we do. We also provide services for like people who may be utilities, may be struggling, not quite in a homeless state yet, but utilities and finance. Okay, we can just give you a little nudge along by meeting some of these utility bills. Also down that same line for people who don't have is on Mondays and Wednesdays, they can come in and get some groceries for free. So we just, before it was, but we just fixed bags of groceries and give them to you. Now we set up a marketplace to where you can come in and you can come and shop and get your own groceries because you know your family needs better than we do. You know, if there's allergies or different things like that, you come and get what your family needs. Now, again, we're not throwing away resources because you get stuff to get. I don't know, I don't need this, throw that away. Somebody else may need that can of beans you just threw away.
That's it.
So now you get what you need, and then what's left we can still bless with some other people. Other things to do. A lot of times, because we're an organization that people donate to, a lot of times we get an abundance of different things. And so we're reaching out and partnering with other communities that may have food banks and say, okay, we have abundance of this. Can you use this? And we send it out by truckloads or whatever to bless other places, counties, and different things. That's just to be a good steward of the resources that we get. It's a blessing to someone. Somebody's in need of it. What I'm here today, one of the things that we also do, and it's taken off more so now, we have, and I brought it here today so y'all can get an idea of what it is. It's a canteen truck. We've been here, again, 10 months, and in the 10 months we've been here, we've been on 5 different disaster sites of tornadoes. That's like one every 2 months. That's been keeping us quite busy. But what has happened, when we first came, we didn't have this, the resource was there, but it wasn't usable. To me, it's a waste. So we got some buy-in and made the investment to get the canteen, it was basically a mobile kitchen, back up and running so that we can use it for disaster sites. So therefore, in Lee County, the disaster that you heard about Lee County, where there were 23 people lost their lives, and a massive amount of others impacted. We were there. We were able to drive our canteen truck up there to be a blessing. That was the first time we've been able to put it to use, and the first time it had been in use for about 3 years.
Okay.
All right. But now we've been able to sustain it. We've been able to carry it on a couple of different things. The one up in Troy, we were able to take it up there and be a blessing as well. That truck, when up and running, can provide about 1,500 meals in a day.
Wow.
It has a refrigerator, it has a stove on it, has a sink on it. Again, it is still a work in progress. It has not been all the way updated, but it's a work in progress right now. The water doesn't run on it. So we're always trying to pull different resources to that because right now the financial crutch all the way around the Salvation Army, and they're basically saying, look, man, you spent a lot of money trying to get this canteen up. We're going to put you on hold for a minute. But I'm like, hey, this ain't quite complete. Well, it's running now. Here's what we can do because we have to put some other resource in other places. So it's usable, but right now we just don't have the running water part of it. So we're just using bottled water as needed, hand sanitizer, that type of deal to get through. All right. And we're just part of the community believing that it's still going to get fixed. And so we're already working on some things with that. Through this canteen, it's one thing, again, just to provide meals, but when we go up to Lee County where someone's mother is in the hospital, their whole house is blown down, mother's in the hospital in surgery, the daughter was there trying to work on the house, the other daughter is also in the next room beside mom in the hospital. Neighbors and other family members lost life. A meal just don't always cut it.
That's it.
But what the meal does is gets us in the door so that now we can also provide emotional and spiritual support.
Wow.
I can't even tell you the impact of some of the conversations we had there.
Yes,
And I drove up in the canteen and they saw the truck, started talking to them, and they broke down crying. He was like, the Lord sent you. That's what makes my job worth what I do.
Exactly.
Amen. And we was, through that, the wall started falling. To express the hurt, we were able to meet there, encourage them through the Word of God, pray with them and support them, and continue those type of relationships even now. And so this is, again, just an inroad to people's life, otherwise that I may not have ever connected with. But when you're at a point where people's lives are impacted, and you can share the word, that seed hits home. And so this is a vehicle we can get inroads into people's community. Our heart is to take it beyond just emergency disasters like tornadoes. What you also have in your packet right there is a program that we're calling REST. that sheet will look like this here. You'll see REST stands for Refresh Emergency Support Team, for one, where like in a school shooting or a building when the Washington Street burned down, the firemen, they're going to be on scene for a long time, but not only are they on scene for a long time, but the people of the community who are also impacted by that event are around there.
That's it.
We can go again, provide emergency services, maybe just be a water, maybe through a hot dog, maybe through just a snack that we can just have, that we can keep stored on the canteen, drive off, serve them, the firemen or whatever, have a moment to pull away. They got to run down the street, but they have a resource that they can get some water, go back in and do whatever they need to do. People who are around can be refreshed as they're waiting, trying to figure out what's going on. And the whole time it opens the door for emotional and spiritual support while we're there. So that's one. So it stands for Refresh Emergency Support Team, but also recharge emotional and spiritual tanks. As people are hit by life, that tornadoes, disasters like that have a way to drain you emotionally and spiritually that fast. But by having someone to come along and partner with you in those moments, that begins the ray of hope coming in, of rebuilding, getting reestablished in life. And just to know to say, God, you haven't forgotten about it. That's some of the things you'll hear, God, well, why this happened to me? Why this happened to me? But you're alive. It says that God still cares. And God still has a purpose. God still has a plan. Now let's walk through this together. Well. So that's the time we're able to just sort of turn things around to help. Sometimes just a little few words to create a perspective shift. And a sense of hope and hopelessness. Just a quick perspective shift to see the Father in the midst of that time to help change perspective and a new ray of light shine. One of the things we do every 9/11, we do to support our firemen. You'll see pictures here where we held just a thing for 9/11 for our first responders, just to support them. We had a big old cookout for them, just to let them know, look, you're not in this alone. We appreciate that. Oftentimes you serve us, but you don't get the recognition or let somebody know that you're cared for. A lot of times you get the blame when things don't go wrong, but we want to give you the blame because of what you do on the good side. So that's what we do. Again, Canteen was also involved in that. So these are the things that we're doing. Now, what we're also having for these different programs to work, REST happens one for tornado situations where we deploy a team for maybe 2 weeks on end. We'll cover the hotel stay. We train. We provide the hotel stay, your housing. You probably want to have some money for food and different expenses. Some of the stuff you get off the canteen, so your food while you're serving, no real money there, but sometime in the afternoon you may want something or want something up. So you want to have some money on you to get all that in training. But the deal is be able to go away for 2 weeks stint. All right? Everybody can't do that, but some can if they're retired or whatever and want to have the serve. This is an opportunity to be able to serve and plug in. Second way of doing that we're looking at doing this is for like local events where a fire or a school shooting or some type of a disaster here in the area that may happen for a few hours. We can get a call, take the canteen out there just to support them again, the emergency personnel and the people who are immediately involved right there. We can support that. That just may be an hour time where you can say, hey, can you? Can you go? You've been trained, here are the keys, and part of that, those who we bring together as a team, we'll have some people that are on our insurance to be able to drive the canteen, because if all these things and it bottlenecks with just me, that's a problem. So we're going to be able to put some people on our insurance who can drive the canteen and a team of people who can just take it out as needed, just with a phone call, hey, I can. Well, such and such can help support it. Here you go. We try to put it together about at least a team of 2 to 3 people. 2 people basically can run the canteen. A third person is out there to give emotional and spiritual support. All right. So we try to go with 3 people. All right. The other way of doing that is when there is no disaster, people are still hurting. People still need the gospel. So the heart behind that is to maybe once a month or bi-monthly, take the canteen out to different areas that are hurting. that may need a little love, provide a meal, provide some emotional, spiritual support. It keeps the canteen running, help keep it maintained. It helps keep a community maintained, and keeps on shifting the perspective of people in community, because in those conversations we can let them know what some of the different options are to give them a bounce back in life. Some other resources that can help them bounce back. We can communicate all of those things through just a conversation. Sometimes people are in the situation they're in because they don't know that they can be helped. They feel like it's, why try it anymore? I've gotten knocked down so many times, why try? But when they know options are available and someone is there to help them walk through the process, again, it spreads a little bit of hope, and that's all God needs. Just give me a credit. You sow the seed, it works.
Or the certification process, that's what we're really concerned about.
Gotcha. What I would need is a list of about 15 names and contacts. If I get that today, I can call the divisional headquarters. They give me a date, we can set it up. They will come down and provide the training. And there's a online website that they'll give you where you can go, and there's an initial phase that you can start going through just emergency disaster information that you need to learn about the most emergency disaster and those things. But he'll provide that as well, go through that. He'll also certify you there. They'll take pictures and get you some ID badges so that if Wetumpka happens and they got the road blocked off, you can show your badge so you can get access into it. Basically, you're basically as a pastor or an extension of the Salvation Army, and that's what you need to get through some of those places where before you couldn't get in. All right, so that by training. And so but the way that would need to go is we would deploy teams. It's not just everybody that got a badge showing up and going in. Okay, it would have to be organized so that, you know, people say I can be used, and we say, okay, we need a team of 2 or 3 people here. And that group of those are the ones who will go in with the canteen. Just going in without canteen or some other vehicle is going to be hard to get in still. But if you are in one of the vehicles, we have the little signs on the side with the label on the truck, you can get access to it.
How long is the training for the?
The training, we can do it. A lot of times we can do it in a day or 2 days, depending on how much we want to put in. If it's just a deal for just the canteen, the information, we can do that in a full day. It's a day's time, probably from like 8 to 5. But there's also a safe serve course that shows you how to properly handle food and stuff on the canteen. That may take a little bit more time, maybe on a different day. And it also depends on the size of the class or how much information you can get through in the time period.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
When do you have your spiritual service? I know you're doing spiritual things all the way through the weekend with your own services that's given, but do you have a set time of worship service?
Yeah, every Sunday morning we have church right there on Ann Street, right at the corner of Ann and Highlands, right across from the Ann Street Walmart. We're right there on the corner, and we have our Sunday school starts at 9:45. Our regular church service starts at 11. We do Bible study every week on Wednesday right there on 900 Maxwell Boulevard, where our shelter is. We do it right there because a lot of people that come are right there. They don't have transportation, but other members in the community that come to the church can drive there. So we have there, that starts at 6:30. The number goes to about 7:30, 8 sometimes when the conversation is going good. So we have that as well. All right, and so that's every week we have those going.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Dr.
We
Wagg.
need a list of people who want to
Right.
sign up for the certification.
Okay. You handle that, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
And I'm on this board if they don't put me off.
okay.
But also, I need you all to be aware that we're in the process of looking to move. So we're trying to move from where we are to another location. And so you all be in prayer. We think we got a good site, but you know, we got to have folks to get through the planning commission.
Right.
So, but I think it's a good site. We're looking to invest almost $9 million in a new site. And so I think we just got to keep an open mind everybody talking about, well, I don't want a home, I don't want, the shelter, but if you can get $9 million in a community, that's still a good investment.
Yes,
And
it is.
one of the things he talked about, we're gonna start trying to offer these classes, not just feeding them and not just getting them a meal and they go back out into the street.
That's it.
And so you all be listening now, we may need
That's it.
y'all to come down
Absolutely.
to the planning commission with us. And
Absolutely.
say that we support this.
That's it,
So,
that's it.
now I'll keep you all posted when we get closer, to that point.
Thank you, Dr. Brown.
We should do it anyway.
Yeah.
We should support anyway because it's a good thought.
Well, but ain't nobody want, you gotta know, nobody say they want the Salvation Army next to them. We all wanna go to heaven and serve the Lord. We want to pull out of sight, and then I don't know that they think we just try to put it in certain areas of the city. But you have to understand, we can't afford to go to East Chase, cause the property is so high. Yeah, but it'll be a good investment, you get new buildings, and it's gonna be a good thing for the community, so we
Wonderful.
just got to get through the planning commission.
Absolutely. And the one thing I want to just add to that, it's about community. It ain't just about Salvation Army, because what we do in connection with community. And the one thing that my prayer concern is, and this is something we'll continue to work, is one thing to move us off of where we are, to get us further out, because it does do that. But don't just put us on a plantation. Give us money, live out there, now we out, so we can get to do what we want to with this property. But we gave you money, now the door closed on money. It took money to build, it's gonna take money to keep serving and operating,
That's
but
it.
we're still a failure. And now what you just did is you move your problem over into an area, and again, plantation mindset. That's not what we're all about.
Okay,
And if that's the standard, we need to stay where we are.
yeah.
But so the thing is, if we're gonna make this move, it needs to be a win-win, not just for the city, not just for the Salvation Army. It needs to be a win-win for the community.
All right.
Well, next.